This is West Texas Railways, a one to however many people you want to play train game, economic shared incentives game about lane track across West Texas. This is a print and play, flip and fill game. Like most print and play games, you can print it out or you can have it on a tablet, which is what I'm using for this illustration. In West Texas Railways, you are trying to get the most amount of money. And you're going to do that by purchasing shares in 6 train companies. You're trying to build track westward. You're doing so without breaking your bank over here. You're going to build junctions, which is going to increase the value. You're going to get to these out-of-state connections, which is going to increase the value of your companies. And then hope that you have the most money at the end of the game. And the player with the most money wins. So let's talk about how you actually play and set up the game. So to play West Texas Railways, all you need is one of these pages. Once again, you can put it on a tablet. You can print it out. You can print 2 per page. It's a little small, but it'll work. This is also double coded, which means that you can print in black and white, and all of the shapes correspond to the individual train companies. So don't stress about that. You also need the rules, which are provided digitally, and you need a deck of cards. Now, I'm using Beth Sobel's River and Stone deck for illustration with this. They are lovely, beautiful cards. Now, you don't need an entire deck of cards. In fact, you only need 20 cards, and I'm going to show you what 20 cards you need. First of all, you need both jokers, but you don't need them quite yet, so just go ahead and set them aside. Then, you need the ace through 6 of 3 suits. Now, those 3 suits are going to be spades, hearts, and clubs. That's it. So you need the ace through 6 of those 3 suits. The rest, 7 through king of all the other suits and diamonds, put them back in the box. You don't need them. So you're going to take those 18 cards. Remember, you're not taking the jokers, and you're going to shuffle them all up. Everybody needs their own map to play with. Everybody needs a pencil to play with. And you might need to have an eraser in case somebody decides to get a little saucy. So this is how you're going to play the game. Every round, you're going to reveal 3 cards. You're going to take the top 3 cards off the deck. So I have the 5 of spades and the 2 and the 4 of hearts. You're going to lay them out. Then players are going to choose one card that they want to interact with. So let's say they do the 4 of hearts. Everybody can choose whatever card they want. Everybody can choose the same card and even perform the same actions that they want. So this is all played individually but together. So once again, let's say we chose the 4 of hearts. Now, there are 4 possible actions that you can take with this card, and it all entirely depends on the number, boop, and the suit. That's it. So the 4 of hearts is going to give you a couple of options. So the first thing to note, and this is probably one of the trickier things about this game, is that in most card-based games, the suit is what matters. In West Texas Railways, it's the number that matters. Because if you notice, we're using the numbers of ace through 6. And there is an ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 company. These represent 6 individual rail companies. So if I'm doing something with the 4 of hearts, that means I'm doing something with the 4 company. So that is how this works, right? It is not a hearts company, it is a 4 company. So the number is going to correspond to which of the 6 companies I'm choosing. So let's talk about what you can do, right? So 4 of hearts, this is what I have chosen. So let's see what I can do. First thing, let's just be real honest, this is how train games work. You could lay track. It's real easy to lay track, right? I have the 4 of hearts. I'm going to lay track for the 4 company. Now, the heart actually tells me how much track I can build. If I chose the 4 of spades, then I can build 1 track. If I chose the hearts, which is what I chose, then I could build 1 or 2 tracks. And if clubs, you could always build up to 3 tracks. So I have to start at the rightmost spot where this little dot is. Ignore these numbers for now. And I'm just going to follow the track. You notice this is a hexagon, so I'm going to start here. I want to lay 2 track. That's it. I have the hearts, so I can lay up to 2 tracks, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to just mark that off there. I'm going to continue on right there. Ta-da! That's it. So that's going to be my 4 of hearts. Then after that, everybody performs all their own actions, and then they're going to reveal the next 3 cards, and you're going to go until you run out of cards. Then you're going to shuffle up the cards, you're going to lay 3 out again, and you're going to keep going until you hit in-game triggers. So That's the first thing that I could do. And I have 4 possible actions I can take, but I can only take 1 action per turn. And so my 1 action was to lay track. Now, the second possible action, and this is how you can get money in games, right? Is I can purchase shares. So action number 2 is purchasing shares. Once again, I can only do it with the company that I chose, so I can only do it with the 4. So let's do that. I'm going to take the leftmost share, the most expensive share, and I am going to get that. Hooray! That cost me $4. So over here, I'm going to mark off 1, 2, 3, and 4. $4, all gone. Now, if you notice, there is a little star up above here. That means that I was the first person in this game to purchase a 4 share. If I'm the first person to ever purchase a 4 share in the entire game, then I'm going to mark this off. Why? It's going to give me some bonus points at the end. Now, let's say somebody else decides to get a 4 share at the same time, and it's their first 4 share. Well, guess what? We both get this first share bonus. That's perfectly great. And so once again, you can only purchase shares based off the number on the card. All right, so that's purchasing shares. Next, you can build junctions. Whenever you build junctions, that means 2 things have to happen. 1, you must own 2 shares of a company. That means you have to be invested, right? So I'm going to fill these in. You own 2 shares of a company. Now, I got this little 4 share that showed up again. Let's say I'm still running with this one, right? So on a future turn, this gets shuffled back in, and now I'm able to do this. So I choose the 4 again. I want to lay a junction. And whenever I build a junction, it costs me $1, as it says right here. And now there's connection. That's what these little circles are. These circles right here, this is a 2 space. So I'm actually going to put over here a hex, and I'm going to put the hex right there. Now I'm not going to draw it right now because I don't want to waste too much time, but you would draw a hex right in that little 2 space. That's a 2 space, that's a 2 space. Ta-da! Now I have built a junction. It cost me $1 to do that, so I'm going to mark it off over here. Now, why would you even build junctions? Because no surprise, it increases the value of your company. So build junctions. Last action that I could possibly do is I could reinvest. So if things are just going poorly and I'm just not feeling this company, I can reinvest. So what I can do is I could choose, let's say I chose a 2. Hooray, I got a 2 and I want to purchase a 2 share. Future Travis here, and this is a little awkward, y'all. There's a rules mistake, and I've actually already put away all of the setup for this. So this is just going to be a voiceover. So I did this incorrectly. In the example here, I say that to reinvest, you would choose the number of a company that you want a share in and erase a share in some other company. That is incorrect. You actually choose the company of the share you want to divest, you want to get rid of, and then you choose any other company. So in this example, I chose the 2 number, the two company, and erase the 4, when instead I should have chosen a 4 company to erase the 4. Now, whenever you choose the company, you get half and you sell it back, you get half the amount of the cost of the share back, rounded up. So if it costs $5 to purchase the share, you would get $3 back, and you would immediately reinvest that money plus your own extra money into another company. Sorry for the awkwardness with this. I will let the rest of the video continue like normal. Thanks, bye. And that's how you can end up reinvesting your shares, and that way you can spread your shares around. Hopefully you can get better payouts towards the end of things. Okay, so that's reinvesting. Now, those are your 4 actions. You could lay track, you could purchase shares, you could build a junction, or you could reinvest. Now, there are some other things here on the map. You got these over here. Ooh, look at that mark. You got these over here. That is an out-of-state connection, right? And so if I'm able to lay track, let's say I'm here and I'm able to get all the way through here, and I get into this space, I build there and I get into this space, now I get to add that to the value of my portfolio at the end of the game. So I get 3 extra bucks. Hooray. That also means that nobody else gets that out-of-state connection, only me. This is also one of the in-game triggers. If all 5 of these connections have been built across all of the players who are playing, then the game ends at the end of that turn. So once again, if all 5 of these are connected, then the game ends at the end of that turn. Okay. Let me actually talk about the other end game condition, and that is if somebody runs out of money, they are just gone. They've spent it all. They've squandered their life savings away on everything over here. The money's out. Now, there is a special dividend. So anytime on your turn, if you want to, you can collect your special dividend, get an extra $5, and spend it for future use. Now, with that being said, you can't go above what's in the bank, right? So I can't start off and get rid of the special dividend and then just start off with $55. Nope, you gotta use it. Okay. So somebody runs out of money, or all 5 out-of-state connections have been completed. Then the game ends at the end of that turn. Now there are a couple of other small things over here. So if you notice, let's see if I can zoom in. Oh, look at that. If you notice right here, there is this little dotted line. So if I have connected all the way here and filled in this shape, that means that the robber barons have noticed what I've been doing, and that's bad. So what happens is that you will actually take a Joker card, shuffle it back into the deck. Whenever the Robber Baron shows up, whenever this Joker card shows up, that means that the Robber Baron is coming out and it is going to take some shares from you. So what you do is the Robber Baron, the Joker card, it goes away. Everyone has to choose one of the remaining cards, and you're actually going to fill in a share for that card. So you could choose a 2 or a 5. Let's say I chose the 2 card. So if I did, I would actually fill in the circle over here showing that a robber baron has taken that share. That means that I cannot purchase that share. I can't do anything else with that share. It is gone. What happens at the end game is that actually decreases the value of the company just a little bit. So that is not beneficial. Then after you go through the deck, you'll shuffle in the second Joker card. Look at the little squirrel. You'll shuffle in the second Joker card and you'll do it again. And so whenever that shows up again, you will get rid of one of the shares remaining. And then you get rid of those Joker cards. Robber Barons only show up twice. That's it. They're just minor inconveniences. Okay. So that's it. Your lane track, your building junctions, you're reaching out-of-state connections, you're spending money, and you're purchasing shares. The game ends, once again, whenever all 5 out-of-state connections have been built or someone runs out of money. And when they run out of money, that includes that special dividend. So let's go to scoring. Whenever we're talking about scoring in train games, one of my favorite things is that in train games, it's all about shared incentives. So you take all of the money that is around and divide it up between the shareholders and companies. And that's a thing that I love about economic train games. And so I wanted to replicate that here. So in What's Texas Railways, you're actually going to go through, this looks like a lot, and it kind of is, but it kind of walks you through all the stuff. So you're going to go through this whole sequence and then this whole sequence. So basically you're going to calculate the number of track built across all for each individual company across all players that are playing. So if you have one player that's playing, it's just right here. If you have 5 players, you're going to calculate up everybody who has laid track for ace 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on their map. So you're just going to count. You're going to count them all up. You're going to do that for each company. Then you're going to add $3 for every junction that every player built. Now remember, I did not put the shape right here. Normally you would actually have the shape right there so you would know, oh, this is a hexagon. I'm going to add $3 to the hexagon, and you would add that in the line below. Then you're going to total the company value, which is you add both of those numbers together. Then you're going to look around and you're going to see how many shares were purchased. Once again, this is across all players. So if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there are 10 shares in the Ace company. So if 3 players between the 3 of them have 24 shares purchased, and that's it, then you're going to add those up right there. Then you're going to get the company value, which is, here's some math for you. Get out your calculators. You're going to divide the total company value by the number of shares purchased. So if there are 100 if the company value is worth 100 because you just laid a ridiculous amount of track, and there are 20 shares that were purchased, then 100 divided by 20, each share is going to be worth $5. Get it? So you calculate out all of the companies first, and then you're going to go to your individual stuff. So you're going to take what you came out here, and then now you're going to move over to your purchase shares. So if every company, if let's say Ace is worth $5, every share is worth $5, and you have 3 shares in the Ace company, guess what? You're going to get $15 for that company. And so you're going to add up all of those over here. Then you're going to add money from the bank. If you have money left over, special dividend doesn't count. If you have money left over, you're going to add that money there. Then you're going to add in all of your out-of-state connections that you have made, right? Then you're going to add $3 for each one of these little first share bonuses that you have. And you're going to get out your calculators. You're going to make that happen. And whoever has the most money wins. That is West Texas Railways.